Listening to you here. How you doing, Mary?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, my husband and my child are currently waiting for our nanny to arrive.
Okay,
And so I'm
okay,
like
okay. Like,
constantly
do
looking.
you want to attend to them? Let me allow you maybe send back a schedule link.
I think that we should be okay. They're outside looking at grass. So I think that'll buy me some time. We should
Okay.
be okay.
All right, let's run through this. All right, hi everyone. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast, where we have honest conversation that matters. Conversation that educates us and sometimes help us to understand more better about ourselves. So today we are talking about something that affects so many women, yet isn't nearly discussed enough. Pain. Not just any kind of pain, but that kind of pain that sometimes women are told to tolerate. Pain during sex, pain during examinations, pain around the pelvic area, pain that is being dismissed as normal, pain that a woman might be embarrassed to talk about. And, sometimes pain that she has lived with for years because she felt that she has no other way out. Our topic today is the pain women are told to ignore, understanding pelvic floor health, pain, and better care for women. And I think this is truly an important segment for everyday women because it's going to give us real insight about what pelvic floor and everything is. Today with me is a very beautiful guest.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to introduce to us Mary Ellen Reider, okay, co-founder of Your Lab and FDA cleared pelvic floor rehabilitation device, who works closely in the women's health space, particularly around the pelvic floor dysfunction, pelvic pain, and patient education. Well, she'll be in the best shoe to say who Mary Ellen really is. Mary, welcome to Mom's Talks Daily Podcast. It's so fulfilling to have you here. I must commend.
No, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk in and dive into this. This should be fun.
All right, Mary, you'll be taking the stage from here. I want us to have this interaction, woman to woman. And you were standing as an everyday woman here, and from the point of view of a, profession you have little understanding about this professionally. I want you to come from those angle. I want us to take this a step, at a time. It's not just gonna be a script or episode thing or podcast thing, but something that we have to, share our hearts and passionately do this together. Right.
Yeah.
So,
I
so Mary, first off,
yes.
we're gonna know who beautiful Mary is, where Mary is from, everything about Mary, and where she works and what it's all about. And we're having 30 minutes for this discourse. All right, so let's just round this up 2 minutes, if that's
Okay.
okay.
So really quick, who I am. I am a co-founder for Yarlap, which is like you said, it's the FDA cleared medical device to treat
Okay.
female urinary incontinence. So that's a mouthful. Basically, my dad and I are co-founders for a device that treat when you like laugh, sneeze, cough, and you pee yourself, or like you have a sudden urge to pee, and you pee yourself. So it's like the involuntary leakage of urine and Yarlap treats that. And we're here in the United States. I'm in Ohio, which is going through like a weird flood situation, but that's beside the point. Um, so that's what I am. That's who I am. That's what I do. I work with my dad and I talk to women about their vaginas all day, and
Okay.
it's wonderful and I love it.
All right. Okay. So, Mary Ellen, where are you from? Are you from the United States or you're from?
Yeah, so I'm from the United States. I'm from Ohio specifically, so I'm like Midwest. But
Okay.
yeah, like in the middle of the United States. That's where I am.
Okay, all right, good to have you here. So let's dive right into this. I have been waiting to hear more about this. Thank you for picking the stage to do this out of passion. God bless you.
Thank you.
So, generally, when we are talking about pelvic floor, let's start with the basics before, because I think many women, have heard about this word pelvic floor, but do not necessarily understand what it means. Mary, what exactly is pelvic floor, and why should everyday women understand what it does?
Yeah. So most women, like you said, they don't know about the pelvic floor until after they've had a kid or until they start like peeing themselves
Yeah.
and they like have no control. And then they start learning that they have a pelvic floor. Every person, regardless of your sex, like men and women, have a pelvic floor. That's a huge misconception that we have at Yarlap is that sometimes people will call into us and debate if they have a pelvic floor or not. Everyone has a pelvic floor. It is a
Mm,
group of muscles
okay.
that, if you want to visualize it, it kind of is like a hammock
Okay.
at the base of your spine on your pubic bone. So it's
Okay.
like a hammock that holds everything there together. It is not one muscle, it is a compound of muscle groups
Okay. Okay.
and it holds everything together. So it holds your bladder, your visceral organs,
Okay.
your uterus, all
Yeah.
in its place. And if you're into yoga or something like that, it's considered the root or your
Okay.
foundation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what are some of the signs that a woman's pelvic floor is not functioning properly?
There are so many. So I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose anybody.
Okay.
Just getting that out of the way.
Okay.
I do have to say that for legal reasons, but um, for your pelvic floor, there are so many things for women that can cause dysfunction, and there it's a spectrum basically. So we have women who, if you have like really intense pain when you're inserting like a tampon or during sex for penetration,
Yeah.
that can be a red flag that you should discuss with your doctor about your pelvic floor because
Okay.
that's not normal.
Okay.
And then you also have people who don't have any bladder control.
Okay.
And that's also a red flag, and that's not normal. And you should talk to your doctor because you should have bladder control and you should have good sex, right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
when you're doing an annual, like when you're doing an annual exam, like a pap smear or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
insertion should not be difficult and searing pain.
Okay.
Those things are all your pelvic floor
Okay.
and the tone, the tightness, all of that. And it should be looked at because you can be too tight.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's like the pelvic floor. Those are kind of big, basic red flags
Okay.
of talk to your doctor because that's not normal,
Not
even though
normal.
we've come to tell women that pain is normal and common in our health.
Hmm.
That's not true. So don't fall for that.
Okay. All right. So to everyone listening to what Mary is saying, it says if you it's advisable that if you ever experience excessive pelvic discomfort, okay, the assumption that it's just something that every woman deal with shouldn't be a normal for you, because assumption may be the beginning of the problem of the whole thing. So it's better you talk to your health provider about it. Okay, this brings me to something I think that women can relate to pain during medical procedures. The second question, why can routine examinations be painful? You talk about pap smear. Let's talk about the pap smears, cervical examination, biopsies, and other procedure that women experience throughout their lives. These are often described as routine here. For some women, it's extremely painful, why some are considered, a routine medical procedure supposed to be painful for women. So, what role can pelvic muscle tension play in all of this?
Yeah, so we have annual checkups. So, like here in the United States, for most insurances, you have to have an annual pelvic exam,
Okay.
cervical exam, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it is uncomfortable. They are uncomfortable. However, they should not be searing pain. It shouldn't be,
Excruciating.
yeah, it shouldn't be excruciating. You shouldn't be crying. You shouldn't be thinking, this is, I can tolerate this
Yeah.
for the 20 seconds that it's happening.
Mm.
And the tension with the pelvic floor is like if you breathe in right now, like take a deep breath, your pelvic floor tightens. And then if you take a deep breath out,
It releases, huh?
it releases and it lengthens.
Mm.
And that tension kind of it helps relax and that tension goes away, which is why a lot of times, like during birth and during the insertion of like the pap smear devices, um, they tell you to take deep breaths because
Okay.
during that relaxation, during that lengthening,
Okay.
that discomfort can kind of ease.
Okay.
And when you have no control over your pelvic floor muscles, you have no control over that deep breath.
Mm.
And that lengthening may not happen.
Mm.
And that discomfort is just exacerbated.
Mm.
And so it's really important that you have tone over your pelvic floor so that you're able to relax on command during things like an examination or during things like penetration
Okay.
or childbirth, for instance, where you have the control to relax.
Okay.
And that can really, really help with things that are being inserted.
All right. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm enjoying every bit of this, And I know that many women out there, think that these are normal. This
Mhm.
pain. But you've just brought an enlightenment, and I believe that every woman listening to this is gonna find this, is gonna find this as a plus, as something to hold on to. Thank you so much, Mary. We are doing a lot. You're really doing a lot. All right, so I have this question. Our audience said here, he said, what should a woman do if she tells her healthcare provider, should in case she went for her routine checkup or pap smear stuff, and what should she do when she complains that these hurts? What question should she be asking? Is it okay for her to ask her provider to stop, or what should she really do at that particular time? Is it wrong for her to say that? Because I really need women to understand that they can be polite in medical environment, and still be cool to say, I'm uncomfortable. I need you to stop. I need you to explain what you're doing. So, if she finds herself in a situation where she's before her healthcare provider and then it's hurting, what do you think she should do?
You can always ask for a break. You can always
Okay.
ask for a second. You can always ask for a minute.
Okay.
If you are confused about what they're doing in the exam and like why they're doing what they're doing, you can always ask for an explanation.
Okay.
Your provider should always provide an explanation as to what they're doing.
Okay.
Um, and if you have a really good provider, they will walk you through the entire thing.
Okay.
And um, if you have pain or you have pelvic floor dysfunction and you want to ask or you think that you have it and you want to ask your provider, the most easy question is the direct question, right? Which is, can you check out the tone of my pelvic floor? Can you look
Okay.
into the tone of my pelvic floor?
Can you look into the tone of my pelvic
Can you
floor?
look into
Okay.
the tone of my pelvic floor? Can you check, or if you just want to be vague and you're embarrassed or you're nervous or you have anxiety or whatever, and you
Okay.
don't want to be super direct like I
Mm.
am,
Yeah.
you can just say,
It's okay to be direct at times. It's okay.
you can say, um, can you check out my pelvic floor?
Okay.
Can you look at it? There are simple examinations that they can do. They might send you to a specialist, a pelvic floor specialist,
Okay.
but they should be able to talk to you about your pelvic floor.
Okay.
It's a very important group of muscles, and so they should be able to talk to you or look into it or refer you.
Okay.
And that's like the biggest hurdle is to advocate for yourself because a lot of women are embarrassed about what's going on and they shouldn't be
Of
because it's your
course.
body and you should
Yeah, of
advocate for
course.
it.
Yeah, I jot down something like that, and we'll soon be going into that actually. Yes, because that's a very, very important point, Mary. This brings me to another part of this conversation, the conditions. Conditions that many women don't even realize have names, like the vaginismus, vulvodynia, and other sorts of pain. Mary Ellen, let's talk about the conditions like this. What are those that I just listed out? I might not pronounce it properly, but
Yeah,
permit
so like
me. Permit me. So
vaginismus.
how might a woman know that what she's experiencing isn't just something she can endure? How often? Okay, let's talk about this condition I just listed out.
Yeah, so vaginismus is like um tightened super tight.
Super
A lot
tight.
of people, like a lot of therapists or doctors, they'll use like dilators. So if you see dilators or something like that, that's what they tend to be used for, is a slow introduction of insertion
Okay.
because the opening there is so tight.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of like the hypertonus is the same thing where it's like a hypertoned pelvic floor.
Okay.
So it's a very tight pelvic floor.
Okay.
And if you have that, you don't want to be doing like Kegel exercises.
Mm,
You don't want to be clenching an already clenched pelvic floor.
mm.
So it's really important you figure out, are you tight? Or are you loose is not the right word. And I hate when people say it, but it's more like kind of sagged a little bit
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and everything shifts. So
Okay.
like back to where we were talking about the hammock.
Okay.
Your hammock could be strung way too tight,
Okay.
or you haven't used it enough and now it's just sagging.
Okay.
And either way, it needs to be appropriately toned. But the way you go about that is very different.
Okay.
So if you are more tightened, you want to relax.
Okay.
If you are more saggy, quote, saggy,
Yeah. Yeah.
you want to do more like what we associate with Kegel exercises.
Okay.
And so it's very important that you talk to your doctor to figure out where you are because
Okay.
you want to make sure you're doing the right exercise, right?
Exercise. Okay.
And
Okay.
so that's
Okay.
really important. Like, what do you have? And how is that super important? And how do you fix it?
Mm. All right. Okay. So how often do women go through years of discomfort before realizing that there's actually medical reason to this? Should it be, like when you're having a tight hymen, okay, maybe as you described just now, the one that's a bit saggy. And so, for instance, a woman who has a vagina that is very, very, tight despite everything, how
Oh, wait,
often?
hold on. Hold on. I need to get my charger. Give me
Okay,
1 second.
okay,
Sorry.
okay, all right. All right, guys, still we are on Home Ziba Talks Daily Podcast. This podcast is open for guests, all right, who really want to talk about most of their services, their products. Should in case you find these podcasts really, really engaging, please do write to me via my email at momziba@gmail.com. Momziba spelled as MUMZIBAHH at gmail.com. All right, so this is a beautiful place where we learn a lot of things. And yeah. All right, still on, we are talking about the pain that women go through, the pelvic floor health, with a very, very important and beautiful guest, MaryEllen Reider. All right, Mary, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, so should a woman who has been passing through this pain like for maybe just 2 years lay a complaint, see it as a serious thing to go see the doctor? Maybe 2 years after, maybe she has been disvirgined and she's still feeling this pain each time penetration comes. Is it enough for her? Is 2 years or 3 years or what period is okay for her to go lay a complaint to her health provider that this is still, despite the countless time I meet with a man, this is still very, very painful. Does it have a stipulated time or
No, for me, I would recommend as soon as it happens, as soon as you realize with your body that something feels off or weird or shifted, ask. Like, why are you supposed to be in pain? Why are you supposed to be in inconvenience? Why are you supposed to be unhappy with your quality of life?
yeah.
Like,
Mm,
painful sex or just like peeing yourself and having no control.
mm,
Why should you have to live with that for an X amount of time before
mm.
you speak to somebody about that? You
Okay.
shouldn't. Just go and talk to them as soon as you feel any kind of weird something's like as soon as you feel something is off, go
Mm.
ask your doctor. That's why they're there. That's why they're important. That's why you're paying them.
Of course, of course. All right. Women, we should learn to understand that something can be common but still deserves medical attention. All right. You don't just sweep everything under the carpet that, okay, I'm feeling pain because it's a normal thing for women to feel pain during this and that. Okay. So, as she said, you have a healthcare provider, you pay them. Okay. So, sure, you should go there to meet them and tender your complaint and how you're feeling and see if it's normal or not. All right. So another question is, why do when a woman feel dismissed, what happened when a woman goes to a healthcare and says that I'm experiencing pain, I'm passing through pain, but she's rather dismissed instead of dismissed, like the healthcare provider will tell her it's normal and you just need to relax and everyone
Get a second
experiences
opinion.
discomfort.
Get a second opinion. You should never feel like your health does not matter. If
Okay.
you feel sex is painful, if you feel like something is uncomfortable and you have voiced that, and they're like, well, you're a woman, tough it out,
Yeah.
get a second opinion because that is not how that conversation should go. You should be taken seriously
Okay.
and there should be a plan. Either like referring you to a specialist or having a more in-depth conversation about what you're feeling, but somebody telling you because you're a woman, you should deal with that pain and discomfort,
Mm,
get a second opinion.
okay. All right. Okay. All right. So women, it's important that you advocate for yourself. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
that you do not trust your health provider. No, you do. It actually means that you are participating in your own self-health care. Okay? So just as she has said, if it doesn't go the way that you expect to be heard, then get a second opinion. You do not need to suck it in. Okay, so another question is preparing. Let's see the section about preparing your body or yourself for before any examination. And so, Mary, what can women do to better understand and prepare their pelvic floor health before medical procedure or experiencing pelvic discomfort? Do you know?
Learn to relax.
Relax. Okay.
A lot of people, when they think of their pelvic floor, they only think of Kegels, or Kegels. They only think of that,
Okay.
and that's clenching.
Okay.
And during these procedures, you kind of want to relax. You want to be able to relax on command. You want to lengthen on command.
Okay.
And it's overshadowed a lot because we never talk about relaxing those pelvic floor muscles. But the ability to have total pelvic floor control, total hammock control,
Mm.
is the ability to clench and relax on command.
Okay.
So you really want to do and learn these relaxation massage exercises where like you're doing a lot of deep breath work,
Yeah.
or like you use your yarlat for the relaxation or something like that, where you learn to relax those muscles. That's
Okay.
very important.
Okay, okay. All right. So, this beautiful Mary, without turning this conversation into a product discussion, can you explain what pelvic floor rehabilitation is and who might benefit from speaking to a qualified healthcare professional about it?
Yeah, so anybody can benefit from it. Anybody who's got a pelvic floor. So literally anybody, anybody with a pelvic floor can
Okay,
benefit from talking to it. They have these physical therapists that specialize in them called pelvic floor physical therapists. Um, and it's a growing area. There's not a lot of them just yet, but it's growing in popularity because people are starting to learn the importance of their pelvic floor.
okay,
And what it is they are teaching you the importance of tone and strength.
okay. All right.
And
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. I think we are almost rounding this up. There's supposed to be a 30 minutes. And I would love to have this with you more and more. Maybe some other time. I would love to book and maybe in September if you okay. Well, I really love this discussion where we have to talk about pelvic floor for men and all the stuff. So if we are rounding this up, Mary, I really have a lot left. You can see a lot of it. I really came prepared, but it's fine. I must really comment that you've done beautifully so well today, and
oh, well, thank you.
I appreciate every bit of your beautiful face and beautiful knowledge. You
Well,
know,
thank you.
thank you for joining Mom's About Talks Daily Podcast. I don't know if you have anything you want to chip in, and if not, I'll be wanting you to revert back to me via my email. If you have a book, if you have more about your site, your personal services you offer, you can share with me so I and your contact, so and your location, so that I can always do this through my website, book site, and also on the podcast. I can tell people more about you. If that's okay, you can revert back to me via my email.
Perfect. Yeah.
Good. So I'll be expecting your emails, your details via my emails after now. Good to
No
have
problem.
you. Good to have you. So you run along and go do your thing with your family. Thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, guys. Remain good. Bye.